Hey, had another 4th edition D&D game this weekend. This is the second one for me. And no real changes, I don't guess. The adventure involved the players fighting a bunch of goblins again. But this time there were a couple of wolves thrown in there, and I just tried to mix the combat up a little bit. The game went a lot smoother this time because it didn't involve a massive boss fight at the end that took up several hours. The fights seemed to go a lot smoother, and all the players seemed to be feeling a lot more comfortable with their characters, and I noticed that they were taking advantage of their powers more often and more consistently and appropriately. So that's good at least. Everyone in the party is level 3 now. And my impressions of 4th edition thus far, 2 games into it, is that it's very crunchy, and because of that I've started using a program called the Character Builder. If you play 4th edition, then I'm sure you're familiar with it, but if you don't, then on the Wizards of the Coast website you can get a subscription to something called the D&D Insider, but even if you don't have that, you can still use a demo of the Character Builder. That is a program which will keep track of all your characters' abilities, modifiers, powers, and stuff like that, and put it on an updating character sheet. And the advantage to this is, one, you don't have to do all the math and stuff in your head, and it also is actually pretty clear. It gives the complete rules for everything right there on the character sheet, like powers and stuff like that, so you don't have to keep referencing rule books and stuff like that. And at first I wasn't planning on using this, but just on a hunch I decided to make one of the characters with the Character Builder to double check my math and stuff. And I'd made a couple of mistakes. I thought I had a pretty decent understanding of the rules and stuff, but a couple of things slipped past me, and I've been having more trouble with 4th edition than I have with other games as far as that goes, because I honestly don't think the rulebook is that well written as far as telling you exactly how certain rules work and where certain modifiers are coming from. And so, because of that, I think the Character Creator, or Character Builder, whatever, is a pretty useful tool, at least for me. And so my group went through and transferred all their characters onto the Character Builder, and so then for next game I'll have printed out character sheets for them all ready to go and stuff like that. We do tend to be spending the majority of our time on combat, but I can't say if it's any different from any other Dungeons & Dragons game I've played. Now, I've played games that don't necessarily revolve around combat quite so much, but the big accusation that people keep making about 4th edition is that it's just a tactical minis game and that it's not a real role-playing game and all that stuff, and I'm still kind of on the fence about that. We're having a lot of fun with it, and it still feels like a role-playing game, but I can't deny that we are spending a lot of time with combat, and a good portion of the character sheets and the way the characters are developing is focusing on combat, but I can't really say that it's any better or worse than other D&D games we've played in that sense. If you go into a game of Dungeons & Dragons, you make certain assumptions, and typically one of those assumptions isn't that you're going to be dealing with in-depth role-playing in a fantasy medieval environment. It's more like we're going to go kill things and take their stuff. And I think a design decision for 4th edition was, okay, let's focus on that and make it really good. So I don't know. Some people are going to like that, some people aren't. But all I can say is so far we're having fun with it, and I'm really looking forward to the next game. The players have moved north of where they started at and are starting to explore a bit more of the campaign setting that I've designed, so that's always interesting, and I'm looking forward to putting them up against like different monsters and showing off different parts of the world and stuff like that. So I will let you know next week how that goes.